how I'm firing. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong. Strong.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And guys, I wanted to give my 2 cents on this situation with Dmitry Bivol and David Benavidez, because I hear a lot of talk in these YouTube streets, and they're saying that Dmitry Bivol dropped that WBC title because he's afraid to face David Benavidez. You guys know David Benavidez was elevated to the champion, the full-fledged champion, because he was the mandatory challenger. The fight was supposed to go to purse bid on the 8th, but Bivol wound up dropping the title on the 7th, and he opted to go into a trilogy matchup with Artur Beterbiev. Now, to be honest with you guys, I said this in the video I talked about, him dropping the title in. I would rather see Bivol versus Benavidez. I would be more interested in that fight than a trilogy matchup. But at the same time, I got a file on WBC and Mauricio Suleiman for pushing this fight, pushing for Bivol to take this fight next, when they didn't have the same energy when it came to Canelo Alvarez, when David Benavidez was his mandatory challenger. So that's what I'm talking about, the favoritism in the sport of boxing. You need to have everything across the board. You need to have everything fair and balanced when it comes to these rules. You can't pick and choose, and because certain fighters are more popular, then you're willing to bend the rules for them. Because, that's not going to sit well with other fighters, when you're trying to force things down their throat. So I can understand in a sense why Bivol would opt to go fight Beterbiev in a trilogy matchup instead of fighting David Benavidez. He doesn't want to be forced to do something that you didn't force Canelo Alvarez to do. And I'm pretty sure His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is in his ear about it. And we all know Turki Al-Sheikh, he was no longer interested in that fight with Bivol and Benavidez. He wanted the trilogy matchup. So yeah, there's a lot of politicking going on here in the sport of boxing. Now, I saw this article here. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick, guys. That they were saying that, Bivol turned down an $8 million offer. So that's what, if he's turning down an $8 million offer, and they're saying that, he's being, let's see here. It says that Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN reports that Mauricio Suleiman said Bivol's purse for the rematch with Artur Beterbiev was $2.7 million. Why would he, take $2.7 million and not the $8 million? Well, you got to listen to the source. It says Suleiman. Suleiman is the WBC president. So, of course, he's going to try to spin things. And this is what I'm talking about. These guys are playing games all the time. Now, I'm hearing that, Bivol received $10 million for those fights with Artur Beterbiev. And we all know Turki Al-Sheikh is good for the money. We know that. Now, when it comes to Al Heyman, they say he's turned out $8 million. We don't know. The money, we're not really sure about that. The PBC aren't, they're not doing really great these days. So why leave a sure thing for something that may happen? I mean, that's the way I see it. But I don't think for 1 minute that Bivol is afraid to face David Benavidez. I just don't believe that. He's never given us any indications that he's ducking smoke. All of a sudden, he's just afraid. He fought a very dangerous guy in Artur Beterbiev, not once but twice, and then looking to go into a trilogy matchup with him. One of the hardest punchers out there, a guy who once had a 100% knockout ratio. So I don't think he would be afraid to face a guy that came up from 168. He's acclimated to 175 now, of course, and had a hell of a fight with David Morrell. But I just don't see Bivol being afraid of the smoke. I just see this more of chess. I see it more of a bunch of politicking going on and people trying to spin the narrative. But anyway, I just wanted to get my point, my thoughts out there. I don't know, maybe you guys think differently about this situation. I know, saying someone's ducking, that's the cliche thing to say. But in this situation, I think it's a little bit different. But maybe you disagree. You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.